A very good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Career Ownership Hub. My name is Pura. I'm the founder of Career Ownership Hub on a mission to empower 100,000 mid-career professionals. I want them to have clarity and confidence in their journey, in their professional journey, because I know as a mid-career professional till last year, I was running the race, and majority of us are running the race. It was in the year 2016, 17, somewhere around that, I started reflecting on my journey. And I realized that if I keep running, there is no end to this. I just have to keep running till I retire. And what next? What after that? And it was at that point in time I started to realize that I need to take control of my journey. And I started working on a framework with a few mentors. And it took me a couple of years to take complete charge of my journey. But then, in the last 5 years of my corporate journey, I grew by more than 5 times. I developed the complete framework, and now I'm sharing this framework with all my mentees at the Career Ownership Hub. In the comments or in the description of this video, there is a career ownership guide. Kindly download the same, and there is a registration link to my upcoming webinar where I'm going to share the entire framework. So if you are actually interested in accelerating your mid-career journey, feel free to click on the link and register for the webinar. I would like to see you at the webinar, and then we take actions together. You know why? Because if you want to dominate, you have to differentiate. But there is a thin line. There is a thin line between differentiating and dominating. Most of the people are trying to differentiate, but the real differentiation, the intensity of differentiation which is required is not happening. And the moment they do something different, they can be easily copied. And I'm going to share a real life example today to share this concept very easily. But before I do that, give me just a moment. I just go to YouTube and see whether I'm live. If you can hear me and see me on YouTube, please type yes in the comments, and let's begin the journey. I'll share a story about a gentleman named Dave Brailsford. This is from a book. At the end of this session, I'll share the name of the book. Majority of my mentees have read this book because this is one of my favorites. And as soon as we begin the journey at the hub, I strongly recommend to them to read this book. So this story is about a gentleman called Dave Brailsford. He was appointed as a coach for the London cyclist team, the cyclist team of the British. And there was a very big reason of appointing a new person as a coach. Since 1908, or this happened in the year 2000, somewhere nearby 2000. And why did they brought a new coach? Because it was in the year 1908 that this team of cyclists had won a championship. And since then, for almost the next 100 years, they did not win anything. They were in a pathetic situation because no manufacturer, the cycle manufacturer or even the gears manufacturers, were ready to give them anything because it was a negative promotion. If the British team is using my cycles, my bikes, then people will not buy it because the Britishers are losers. This was the impression. And they hired Dave Brailsford to change the scenario. And they asked him, what is he going to do? And he brought a new concept, aggregation of marginal gains. Aggregation of marginal gains. 1% improvement. He said, let's bring 1% improvement in everything we do, in everything that is going to contribute towards winning the championship. Let's do that 1% improvement in all those things. And then when we aggregate everything, the impact is huge. And what they started doing, he observed everything. He did a lot of research with the team, lot of discussions with the teammates, tried to understand what is happening. And then he started bringing in small modifications. And you know, there are high technical challenges or technical possibilities of technical differentiation when it comes to sports or when it comes to anything where there are individuals playing, and everything depends on the individual and the equipment that they are using normally in the sports. So the first thing he did was he made the wheels of the cycle of the bikes lighter by removing the brake lights, by removing a few spokes which were not required. He did so intricate study, so detailed study of this that he could really make the wheels lighter. And with lighter wheels, the speed was better. This was a scientific study. The second he realized is the athletes had to be comfortable when they are biking. So he redesigned the seat of the bikes to make it more ergonomical, to help the bikers remain comfortable while they are actually on the bike on long races. The next thing he did was he made the suits lighter. He used the suits they were using for the internal practice, indoor practices. He made those suits also available for their outdoor games. Those were lighter. I'm sure you would be wondering, यार इतने छोटे छोटे चेंजेस से क्या हो सकता है? How can a team win? How can they win? 100 साल से जीते नहीं है वो लोग, और ये छोटे छोटे इसको थोड़ा लाइट कर दिया, व्हील को थोड़ा लाइट कर दिया, सीट को थोड़ा अच्छा कर दिया. What difference can all these bring? But wait for it, hang on for some more time, and I will tell you the magic that happened just because of these small marginal changes. But there is something more to this. There is something more to this which I'll share in the slide after next. Okay. So what next thing what he did is to see the movement or the behavior of the cyclists during while they are biking. What he did is he made them practice on a kind of a model, and he kept biosensors on their body to see how their body behaves when they are actually biking and what needs to change, where they need to focus, where are the areas where the exertion is more. And this helped them to redesign the bikes, redesign the suits and everything else, and also take care of the health. But one thing which I forgot, a main thing which I forgot was, or the important thing which he realized, which Dave Brailsford realized. He did all this and there was improvement. He was able to see the improvement. But I want to take a pause here and ask you, ask all of you who is watching this video live or maybe a recorded session on Zoom or on YouTube, wherever. Let me ask you, take a pause here, take a pause for a while and tell me, can you really differentiate? Can you really make a huge impact with these changes? What is your thought process? Write in the comment box. Can you make a big difference with these changes? Yes or no? And if you have written that, let me go back to the slide and share what else did he do. Okay. He realized that whatever changes he has made up till now, okay, can be easily copied. Can be easily copied. Anybody will realize how to make the tires light, how to make the seats more ergonomical, and how to do the biosensor testing of each and every athlete and bring the changes which are required. These changes were not enough to dominate. These changes can keep the cyclist ahead for some time. But very soon, the others would also implement these changes if these are effective. And the differentiation will go away. So these changes were not sufficient to dominate. Now ask yourself, I'll come to you after I finish this story. Ask yourself, how are you differentiating yourself? Just think over this question. How are you trying to differentiate from the competition? And if you are not, then you are just fighting to be an average. You are fighting to be an ordinary person in the crowd, ahead of everyone, but still ordinary. So then he brought some extraordinary changes which nobody can think about. What he did was, he brought massage kits for muscle recovery, quick muscle recovery, because he realized that there is a very high probability of injuries when they are practicing. And if the injury continues for a longer time, the cyclists missed their practice. So he tried different variety of massage kits. And he chose the one which got the fastest recovery for the athletes so that they can come back to practice faster. He did a lot of trial and error, but he got this one. Then he appointed a doctor. He appointed a doctor to teach his team how to wash their hands. Can you imagine to watch what depth he went to see the parameters which are impacting the performance? Because of the cold weather, most of the athletes caught cold. And when you have cold, your energy levels drop. One of the most important source to catch cold are your hands, because you keep touching your face. He brought in a doctor to explain his athletes how to ensure that their hands are always clean so that they do not catch cold. This was a bulb-on movement. At least for me, I realized, how can someone do it so minutely and have so much patience? Then, still the success was not guaranteed. Success was not guaranteed. He was trying to bring marginal changes, consistent marginal changes. The next thing which he did was, he got new mattresses and pillows for better sleep for his athletes. The most important thing in any sports, or in any career in life, is energy. If you have sufficient levels of energy, you can accelerate. And if you don't have it, it is difficult. He got these mattresses and pillows specially designed for his athletes so that they have a peace sleep, or they can sleep peacefully. And they are fresh the next morning. The practice hours are very long and sleep is very important. He did these things, and his target was, in the next 5 years, that is somewhere around 2005-6, they should win the Tour de France, one of the most important championships for the cyclists. So with this marginal improvement, consistent actions, David Dave Brailsford wanted his team to win. That this was his dream, but this dream did not come true. This dream did not come true. The 5 years timeline was too high. They got the Tour de France championship. They won in the next 2 years. And in the next 5 years, they won the championship in total for 4 times. In 5 years, 4 times they were the winners. With these marginal improvements. And then guess what? In the 2012 Olympics, 70% of the gold medals were with the London team. Consistent marginal improvement and patience. Consistent marginal improvement and a lot of patience. Now tell me, let's go back to our journeys. There is a very famous story. Again, a next story, small, in next 2 minutes. A man went to his gym owner, the manager of his gym, to complain. There is no parking space, Mr. Manager. Where do I park my car? Since last 15 minutes, I am moving around. I have wasted 15 minutes of my gym time just to park my car. You have to do something. The number of people in the gym are increasing. To this, the manager smiled and said, sir, what is the date today? It is 2nd January. He said, sir, these are the new year resolution people. Just wait for 15 days and you will have ample space. These people will come for 15 days, the resolutions. We all make big resolutions. We all want immediate improvement. And hence, we start very big. But you know what? When we start big, we are aggressive in taking actions, but we are not patient enough to wait for the results. We think that because we are taking big actions, we are taking fast actions, the results should be faster. That doesn't happen. The results depend not only on you, but the results depend on many external parameters. And it will take you some time to understand what are the external parameters, as well as what actions you need to take to be more effective. We all overestimate the results and we underestimate the efforts. And we want always quick things. So whenever you start taking actions, you take too much actions for a very short time. But unfortunately, you don't get results, which is very obvious. And then you stop taking actions. Also, what actions do you take? You try to take more courses, more online courses, get on your technical expertise, more thorough, because you want to be better. But ask yourself, how far can this technical expertise take you? Because there are many people who are equally technically sound as you are. If you really want to be different, you have to do something different. And there are a couple of things which can be done different. The first is, you know what? Hard work. Nobody can defeat hard work. Nobody can defeat consistent actions. Let your competitors have the best talent in the world. Let your competitors have the best experience in the world. But if you commit to work hard, if you commit to work 24/7, nobody can dare to defeat you. But we are always having these misconceptions. My talent, my knowledge, my experience is less. How can I progress? And the second part is focus on the soft skills. Differentiating with technical skills is difficult in this world. You know why? Because the technology is replacing people. You cannot differentiate just on the basis of more technical knowledge. You should have soft skills, better soft skills, communication, presentation, public speaking, problem solving, critical thinking, people management, etc., etc. Because these are the skills which cannot be learned with hard work. These skills need practice. You cannot read a book for 24 hours on communication and improve your communication. You cannot read a book for 24 hours and improve your problem solving abilities. You cannot do people management just by reading books. You have to jump in. You have to start practicing. You have to have hands-on experience. Unlike Udemy and Coursera, they can give you certificates for all the technical courses. They give a data science certificate in 40 hours. How can you become a data scientist in 40 hours? I'm sorry. Don't get carried away by the shiny objects around. Face the reality. You have to start working on things which are the real differentiators. And before I end, progress loves speed. You have to be fast. You have to be fast in taking actions. Take different actions, be fast, and have patience. What a unique combination. Different actions, but do it fast. Take actions fast, but have patience in the results. This is a very unique combination, a very unique formula which you have to implement to dominate. If you are in the mid-career, let me tell you one thing. You are not here for 1 year or 2 years. You are here for next 5, 10, or 15 years based on the phase of journey you are in. Just ask yourself, if you keep running for the next year, without changing your mindset, without changing your attitude, without changing your behavior, how far can you run? You cannot. Have patience, think, and take different actions consistently. Have a mentor in your journey. It could be me or someone else, but a mentor is required. Be a part of the community, a community of professionals who are growing, who are with the same mindset. You cannot do it alone, forget it. Alone you can survive, together you can grow. Remember, alone you can survive, together you can grow. Now it's your choice. All the best, and I wish you all the success in your professional journey as well as your personal journey. Take very good care of your health so that you can dominate the journey. Do not compete. Competition is a race. If you dominate, you get more fulfillment.